Good day, this is Zahid Patel from FilingStack Accounting, and in this video, I'll be discussing FilingStack Accounting software. FilingStack Accounting is an online accounting software application available at FilingStack.com. To sign up, we can click on the sign up link where we can sign up with an email and password or with a Google account. Thereafter, we can log in. Once we log in, will be redirected to the info page. The info page reflects a list of companies or businesses that we have added onto our profile. To add a new entity, we can click on Add Entity. We can then enter the details for the new entity that we'd like to add. In this case, I'll enter a company name. I'll select a financials type. I'll put in an address, city, a province value, PO box, registration number, and it's important to put in the current year's financial year start and end dates. So in this case, I'll select the 2023 year ending February 2023 and starting on 1 March 2022. For the previous year's financial end date, I'll put 28 February 2022 starting 1 March 2021. I'll then click Add Business. This would then add that business onto the info page. If I search for the business and click on the business name, I can select that business. The currently selected business reflects on the top right corner. The next thing that I'd like to do is to process bank statements for this business. I can click on Process Bank Statements, and this will redirect me to the accounts page. On the accounts page, I can upload bank statements in the CSV file format. FilingStack supports uploading bank statements in the CSV file format. Most banks do allow you to download your monthly bank statements in the CSV or comma separated values file format, which is a Excel type of format. If we go to the documentation, we have detailed notes on the requirements when uploading CSV files onto FilingStack Accounting software. We also have a screenshot of how the file should look. The file generally should have 3 columns. The first column should have the transaction date. The second column should have the transaction description, and the third column should have the transaction amount. The first row should be the header row. The first column should have date as the header. The second column can have account or description as the column header, and the third column can have balance or amount as the column header. If we go back to the accounts page, we can upload a bank statement that I have saved. Before we upload a bank statement, we need to add a bank account. So to add a bank account, I can click on Add Bank Account. I can then enter the bank account name, opening balance for the bank account, and the date of the opening balance. In this case, I'll put it as 1 March 2022. I can then click Add Bank Account. The bank account would then be added and selected. We can also add multiple bank accounts if necessary. Thereafter, I can click on Choose File, and I can select a file that I have saved. I can then click Upload File. Thereafter, we'll need to tell the software which column has which data. So in column 1, we have the transaction date. Column 2 has the transaction description or account name. And column 3 has the transaction amount or opening balance. I can then click Import, and all of the transactions will then be imported. I can then proceed with allocating all of the transactions. To allocate a transaction, I can click on the account group column. If I'd like to allocate multiple transactions simultaneously, I can tick those transactions and then click edit all. I can then allocate one transaction, and all the remaining selected transactions will be allocated to the same account. I can then click save, and this will save those allocations. I can then complete the allocations. Google can go to computer expenses. Monthly account fee can go to bank charges, and service fees can also go to bank charges. I can then click save. This will then save all of the remaining allocations. If we'd like to add a new account that's not already available on the selected or pre-populated list of accounts, we can click this add button where we can add new accounts. If we have transactions that fall into the next financial year, we can click on add year, and this will allow us to add a new year. We can select a financials period and financials type, and also the new year that's being added, so the dates for the new year. So in this case, it'll be ending 29 February 2024, starting on 1 March 2023, and the previous year would have ended on 28 February 2023, beginning on 1 March 2022. I can then click add year. This will then add a new year where I can upload transactions that fall within the new year. So if I click choose file again, I can select a file and click upload file. Thereafter, column 1 has the date, column 2 has the account name or transaction description, and column 3 has the opening balance or transaction amount. Thereafter, I can click on import, and all of the transactions have then been imported. I can then proceed with allocating all of the transactions. If we have transactions that are recurring monthly or each month have a similar description, what we can do is we can create a link rule. A link rule will tell the software to allocate a transaction with a given name to a certain account. So for example, in this case, we can tell the software to allocate all transactions with the name transfer from Mr. AP to the fee income 1 account. If we click save, this will then save that rule. In the future, when we upload a file with a description of transfer from Mr. AP, the software will automatically allocate that transaction or those transactions to the fee income 1 account. So if we complete the allocations here, we can allocate this to fee income. We can allocate computer expenses to Microsoft computer expenses. We can allocate marketing to the marketing account. Purchase Google can go to subscriptions, and the account fee can go to bank charges, and service fees can also go to bank charges. I can then click save. If we'd like to test out this link rule that we created, we can upload another file or the same file again. And if we upload this file, column 1 has the transaction date, column 2 has the transaction description or account name, and column 3 has the transaction amount or opening balance. I can then click import. And as we can see, certain transactions over here have already been allocated, and this is because we created a link rule that told the software to allocate all transactions with the description transfer from Mr. AP to the fee income 1 account. If I'd like to delete some extra transactions or transactions that I might have mistakenly uploaded, I can enable the delete button and then click X to delete those transactions. Thereafter, FilingStack will automatically generate a trial balance based on the allocations and the uploads. So the trial balance can be exported to the CSV file format, and this is good if you'll be uploading the trial balance onto secondary accounting software where you'll be preparing advanced financial statements, or if you are using another software to generate annual financial statements. On the trial balance page, we can click on an account to view the contents that make up that account. If we click on an account, it'll redirect us to the ledger for that account, and it'll show us all of the transactions that make up that account. If we click on a ledger item, it'll redirect us to the accounts page where we can edit that transaction. If it was a journal entry that was passed, it'll redirect us to the journals page. If we go back to the ledger page, we can view all of the accounts that have been added, and we can review if all of the allocations are correct. If we go to the statement of comprehensive income page, FilingStack automatically generates an income statement showing all of the income and expenses based on our allocations. We also have a monthly income statement. In this case, it only shows February because the CSV file that I uploaded only had February's transactions. If we go to the statement of financial position, FilingStack automatically generates a statement of financial position. FilingStack also generates a statement of cash flow. We also have the option to add journal entries. If our company is registered for VAT, we can enable VAT on the tax page. And then if we go back to the accounts page, we can select VAT for applicable transactions. So for example, fee income, we can allocate that standard rate VAT, and bank charges can also have standard rate VAT. If we then click save and go back to the tax page, we can view the VAT report that's being generated. We'll need to filter the dates, so we can put 1 March 2024 ending, for example, on 29 February 2024, and FilingStack will then automatically generate a VAT report. We can also print the VAT report or email the VAT report to a client. FilingStack also offers options to generate basic financial statements, and this is available on the AFS page. If I go to a company where I've already generated financial statements, if I select that company and then go to the AFS page, I can click on View PDF to view the financial statements in the PDF file format. I can also tick which pages should show, and below that, I can view the contents that make up the financial statement. If we click on View PDF, we can view the PDF with the financial statements that have been prepared. And to add notes to the financial statements, we can do that on the Notes page. We can enter the name of the note and then click Add Note. We can also bring forward previous year notes or save a note to a template and use that note in other years. We can also edit the cover page. We can add contents to the financial statements, and we can add reports as well. We can also view the PPE notes if any. FilingStack also offers options to add invoices. To add an invoice, we can go to the Add Invoice page where we can enter details for the invoice. Once all of the details have been entered, we can click on Add Invoice. Thereafter, we can go to the Invoices Added page where we can select the invoice and add further invoice details, including products or service details. And we can also print the invoice or email the invoice to a client. If we click on Email Invoice, we can enter the client's email and other details. FilingStack also offers options to add clients or businesses that we may be dealing with on a regular basis, and we can save the details so that we can pre-populate the invoice form when we're adding an invoice. We can also save product or services that we may be offering. We can also reconcile invoices issued with the bank statements uploaded. We can do this by clicking on the link button. So for example, I can click on link here and then I can link this fees received to an invoice. If we go back to the invoices page, I can view a summary of all of the invoices that I have issued. And for example, this invoice reflects as 20,020 rands outstanding receivable to us. If I go back to the accounts page and click on a transaction, I can then allocate that transaction to an invoice or reconcile that transaction to an invoice that was issued. So for example, I can select a certain invoice, I can click save, and if I go back to the invoices page, the outstanding balance for this invoice has now been reduced, and this is because we reconciled a transaction that was received or fee income that was received to this invoice. FilingStack offers a 1 month free trial period for all new clients. If we'd like to go premium or subscribe, we can do that by going to the payments page. On the payments page, we have options to choose between 3 plans. The trial balance plan is ideal for companies that are doing just accounting processing and won't be issuing any invoices. The invoice starter plan is ideal for companies that will be doing both invoicing and accounting processing. So they'll need to generate, for example, a trial balance, a ledger, financial statements. And the Invoice Plus plan is for companies that will be issuing many invoices and will also be needing to do accounting processing. For businesses that may not be doing accounting processing, they may or might have an accountant who does that, but just need to issue invoices, they can also use the Invoice Starter or Invoice Plus plans. FilingStack offers a monthly billing method, so you can select a plan and then once you click subscribe and click to confirm and pay and then follow the steps thereafter, you'll be subscribed to a monthly billing plan. You can also cancel your plan from this page. There will be a cancel button available if you are subscribed already. Once you click to confirm and pay, you'll be redirected to the PayFast website where you can securely make payment through PayFast. FilingStack also has detailed documentation available on the documentation page, and we also have a tutorial. If we click on this click here to start, it'll redirect us to the tutorial page, and this tutorial is very helpful. It's made up of multiple choice questions with some notes as well. And once we complete the tutorial, we'll receive a certificate of completion. And this tutorial will help us to understand the core or basics of FilingStack accounting software. And with that, I conclude the video. Thanks for watching.